generally there are three angles that you can have a look at to invest in a REIT. The one is through ETFs, or exchange traded funds. These are funds that are low cost vehicles. They really track the index constituents of all the companies that make up the REIT index. And that would get you exposure to probably the top 20 listed REITs in South Africa by market capitalization, where the ETF will be based on the weighting of each fund in that overall index. Very similar to any other ETF that you might buy, but focus only on REITs and property companies. The second way that you would get involved is by buying a unit trust that is focused on property. These, for example, would be a product from a Stanlib, a Coronation, an Investec, an Old Mutual, a Sanlam, where it's a unit trust focused on the property market. Just be careful to draw the distinction between a unit trust focused on property and a vehicle called a property unit trust, which really is a vehicle very similar to a REIT. And in fact, many of them are converting to become REITs. When you invest in a property unit trust, for example, SA Corporate, Emira, which operate under those structures, that is a defined company running a portfolio and would be very similar to the likes of a Growth Point, a Redefine, a Vukile, who really are REITs running under a separate corporate governance structure. But let's come back to it. A unit trust focused on property will invest, as it says, only in property assets. There you'll be relying on the expertise of the fund manager, who will understand the in-depth workings of each one of the REITs and will make decisions as to which company to invest in based on their prospects, their earnings growth, the quality of their portfolio, the acquisition pipeline, any fundamental nature of the property. So really what you're doing is you're paying for the expertise of the property, of the fund manager, to determine which assets to invest in, as opposed to a more passive route of the exchange traded fund. And then there is the option of investing directly. That is where you're in control of the investment decision. As the investor, you're deciding which company to invest in. And typically you would do that through a broking platform, a stockbroking platform, either speaking to your stockbroker directly or through one of the online share trading platforms. To do that, you need to understand the companies in better detail. You need to do your own research. You've got to go to their websites. You've got to try and get broker research. Make the decisions as to which company you think has got the best prospects, the lower risk profile, understand your own needs. But ultimately, you need to be guided in what your investment objectives are. Rely on the advice of investment professionals, be they a broker, a financial advisor, a broker, an agent, and understand which product best meets your need. But it really is a very accessible asset class to the private investor, either going in, again, through the ETF route, the unit trust focus on property, or going in directly via your brokers.